Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Talented Learning Executive Briefing Series. I'm John Lay. I'm the CEO and lead analyst at Talented Learning, and this is my favorite series of content because I get to travel around the world virtually and meet with the world's best learning technology providers. And since learning technology providers are all different use cases and different specialties, it's an endless source of new information and innovation. And today's no different. We've got the executive team here from LearningCart, and we're going to learn all about their solution. Fellas, take it away.
All right, John, thank you very much. I'm Troy Gorstees with LearningCart. I'm the VP in charge of learning solutions here. We've also got Christian on the call. He's the CTO of LearningCart, the kind of genius behind the architecture. In today's session, Christian and I will walk you through kind of the history of LearningCart, why it was built the way it was, some of the value differentiators, showing some sample customer sites, and then we'll take you in and actually show you the product itself, the value of it as well. And then we will wrap up at the end.
Sounds perfect.
So with that being said, LearningCart, essentially we've been in business since 2011, a little over 10 years. It is a solution that has been 100% purpose-built for the extended enterprise, focusing primarily on customers, resellers, partners, and so on and so forth in that space, associations. We do support an internal enterprise workforce, but that's usually secondary to the external workforce. As you'll see on this screen, we've won quite a few different awards. We're a little bit different in this space. We are a small and nimble team, primarily technology focused and driven, and we don't do a ton of sales and marketing, so we appreciate the opportunity to get in front of you today. And throughout this demonstration, you'll see the kind of technology and platform that we have in place.
I may be biased, but one of those logos means more than the others. But
let me guess here, and we're very, very thankful for the top 40 here, as John has alluded to for any of you watching. That's our favorite as well.
That's favorite. Great, thank you.
We have a unique business model in that we have a lot of customers, and we typically don't require folks to be on long-term engagements with us. So we have a lot of folks rolling on a monthly basis. So sometimes we'll have customers that come on just for engagements, and other ones are obviously on for longer-term needs. You'll see across the board here, we satisfy and have customers in a lot of different areas. We focus very heavily in the association and training organization space. We've got customers that have large safety customers. We've got folks in the oil and gas space, pharma, biotech, and a lot of those folks have requirements where they have sub-sites or chapters that need to have a sub-portal environment where they can leverage a LearningCart and do those type of things. In the higher education space, we work with a lot of folks here. It's usually adult education, for-profit, revenue recognition, so not your standard college tuition. So we're finding that to be a pretty strong area for us as well. We do a lot of integrations with unique educational-based clients around their type of shopping carts and payment gateways and APIs, so we're pretty familiar with that as well. Obviously, in the global brand space, those names are pretty recognizable and say a lot for themselves. And then down in the health space, you'll see here we do a lot of CEU accreditation tracking, sending completion results, things like that automatically back to and third-party accrediting bodies. So got a lot of folks in that space as well. With that being said, I'd say right now we have a couple hundred clients all across the board. People spin up all the time. We've got some on long-term agreements and others, as I mentioned earlier, that come in and leave when they have a big marketing initiative that passes them.
Nice footprint.
So what the heck is LearningCart? So essentially from day one, and Christian can speak to this probably a bit more than I, we really wanted to build a platform and a solution where we got out of our customers' way. We did not want the technology to be the inhibitor, but we wanted to basically give them a business in a box. So it's really kind of three pieces to the puzzle. It's a comprehensive content management system, so you can go ahead and design the site with the template-driven approach, and the site can be, anything that you imagine it to be. You can use an out-of-the-box template. You can edit that existing template with HTML and CSS, inject anything you want. You can build a brand new template. You can work with a marketing agency. Really, there's no limits to what you can do within the platform. We've made it very, very flexible.
So a CMS would be like WordPress capabilities?
Yep. So when we built LearningCart, we realized most of our customers were basically having to take a website platform, like WordPress, right? They're having to take an e-commerce platform like Shopify, and they were having to take a learning management platform like Moodle and try and make all three of these pieces sort of work together, right?
Oh.
And so when we designed LearningCart, we kept on working with clients who had these sort of Frankenstein solutions of all these pieces that didn't really talk well to one another. They weren't really integrated, but they kind of sort of had to make them work. And so what we did is sort of took a green field and said, hey, how can we build all of these sorts of things to work together? So LearningCart is a lot more than just an LMS or an e-commerce platform. Really, it's an entire like web framework. So I mean, we have a built-in blog engine, we have a built-in content management system, we have the e-commerce, we have the LMS. But then along with that, we integrate with all the sort of normal tools that you would expect, right, to be able to leverage in a web platform, right? So Google Analytics, any system that uses JavaScript, we can integrate with. We have a Zapier integration, we have an API. So it's really trying to bring the LMS out of just being an LMS and more into being something that people can build an entire web presence on without having to kind of like muck together 4 or 5 different systems.
Cool.
Yep. And if they want to muck together systems, that's not a problem with us as well. So some of the larger clients, will have a real robust front end marketing site, and they'll do all their email marketing through that to a CRM, and then just drive down in specific pages on our site, or they just want to get straight to the shopping cart. So that's what's nice, is we're super flexible. You can kind of use all or just bits and pieces where you need.
Yep. And you can send people into any step of the process, like Troy is saying. So, if you want to drive your product details on your corporate site and just do an add to cart link that comes over into LearningCart, you can do that. If you want to power your entire shopping presence through LearningCart, you can do that. If you want LearningCart to be your entire web presence, maybe it's for a division at a larger organization, and they don't want to have to go through corporate to update their stuff, you can do that. But at the end of the day, for most of our customers, what we say is, it's equal parts, for them to be successful, it's sort of equal parts marketing and equal parts learning and development, right? And so you have to have both of those tool sets in order to be successful.
Then you call it professional and instructional marketer.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I like that. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
Let's jot that one down.
That was in my very first blog post.
Was
9 years ago. Yeah, for that. It really is a blend of those two professionals, for sure. There are those two professions in this whole extended enterprise field. So I interrupted. Content management system was part 1 of 3. Were the other 2 e-commerce and LMS were?
That's correct. And so I'll speak a bit about the features on the learning management system, but I think one of the largest value differentiators for us, in addition to having all those pieces of the puzzle, is really the strength and the depth of the e-commerce engine. So we allow your typical workflows for B2C purchases. I'm buying from myself, a single product, multiple courses. We allow you to buy online courses, any sort of training. In addition, we also support physical products. So if you want to sell your student guides, instructor guides, physical books, we've got shipping calculators built in, but then also the depth around, the B2B sale. So, I want to sell to an organization, and let's say a safety training manager wants to come and buy on behalf of their organization. We've got a lot of unique workflows and support where I can go in and buy seats for different courses. I can distribute those to different people multiple ways. Strong coupon and discount engines for individual products or across categories of products, tiered volume pricing, and then ultimately we also allow for unique pricing based on organization. So if you've got specific pricing for organization A versus organization B, you can go ahead and set up pricing for those individual organizations, and then ultimately you can group different products together. And finally, subscription-based support as well. So if you want to give access for a certain given months for different pricing, you can do all that. The system will automatically track all of it and renew and do all of that stuff for you. So a lot of strength on kind of how you sell and supporting the different purchasing methods by customers. And in addition to support for purchase orders and this support for invoicing. So you can go ahead and place an order on their behalf and invoice them and have them pay later.
Wow, nice. Deep.
Yeah. So I'll move on from there. And so we've talked a little bit about, who we are, a little about who our clients are, the 3 pieces that we really are: the content management system, the learning management system, and the e-commerce engine. And ultimately, when you bring all those together, it's an integrated platform, and it's got to be powerful, it's got to be secure, and it's got to be scalable. So that's kind of been the goal from day one. So whether we're working with a small individual down the street or a Fortune 50 that's a multinational, with different security requirements or hosting requirements. The LearningCart platform can kind of meet all of those requirements. Some of the metrics that you see on the screen here, everyone can count users differently. We've got millions of users who completed training, but this really is kind of a list of what we consider as our current users. And in our world, a current user is really someone who's using the platform. So it's, a user in the system taking training, or it's John at Talented Learning coming in buying training on behalf of his employees and distributing those. So we've got a pretty large usage base. In the history of LearningCart, in the 10 plus years, we've had about $500 million US processed through the platform, through the various payment gateways we support, which Christian is at 12 to 15 different payment gateways, I think now.
Yeah, something like that, along with custom one-offs when necessary.
And with all that being said, 0 incidents of fraud. So we understand more so now than ever, as you mentioned earlier, John. It's not just a training platform for employees. It's really a lot of people's businesses at the end of the day for us. They're investing in us and counting on us 100% of the time to basically bring in the revenue to be able to take their business and pay for their employees. So something we're very proud of on our side.
Outstanding.
Here I'll cycle through and just show you a few examples. I mentioned earlier that really it's up to you. So we've got many clients that can come in the platform. You can sign up today, use a template, or bring in your own template and be off and running, and we never talk to you. And so in some cases, it's kind of neat. The team will say, hey, look at this site. They just spun this up. And we'll go out and we'll take a look at them. We're like, wow, that's pretty cool what they've done. In many other cases, we'll work with our customers. We'll do a implementation and an onboarding where we'll provide some resources to them, or we'll do the design ourselves. And in the case of a lot of other folks, so it's really split about a third. A third will come in, use the base templates, do some tweaks. A third will do the design and implementation for them. And then the final third will have, a marketing agency or marketing folks, either in-house or outside agency, that will come in and do the design for themselves.
When you say templates, you're referring to the general look and feel and layout and the widgets that are involved. Is that what you mean, or something different?
Yeah, so the site is really based on a template. So in many cases, a lot of customers will have an existing site or a corporate site, and they're like, hey, is there any way you can match it exactly? And so we can, and it's not just that we swap out, the logo has to be in the left corner and the navigation has to stay the same. We can make any of those items be any which way that you want, horizontal, vertical, whatever you want. So we really work with the team to kind of build the template around the look and feel one, the kind of the catalog, how the courses would be designed, and I'll show you that in a minute. If you want a tile card view or a traditional catalog, the footer, those things. And then once that's been done, then the customers, because we really give our customers the keys. We want them to obviously be able to administer and support the platform and build it out. So if they have 5 courses today, then all of a sudden they need to add 10, 15, 20 more. It's going to leverage all the look and the feel. So folks without any technical background can very easily add new products and new courses and things like that. As well as Christian alluded to, we've got what's unique as well is we've got a blog engine, and we've got a quizzing engine as well, and you can actually use different templates for those as well. So you can have a totally different look and feel that maybe brings in your corporate identity brand colors for your blog, but it doesn't look like the site exactly, but you can still see that they're together. So you can use templates pretty easily.
So big picture, if you spin up a LearningCart site, you kind of have 3 options, right? So one is we have a default sort of look and feel. Pretty easy, change your colors, change your logos, change your footer, change your navigation, right? All the standard stuff. We also support totally custom HTML. So if you have a marketing team, you want to look exactly like something, you have total control. You can absolutely accomplish that. And then we also have a template builder. So if you decide, well, hey, I don't want to write HTML, or I don't have somebody who's an expert, right? But I want to kind of tweak things a little bit. We have a template builder with built-in components that you can drag and drop, change colors, change fonts, add different page elements, and kind of build out your design that way.
Wow, great.
And I'll go through just a couple more slides, and then we'll jump into kind of showing some of the customer sites. But ultimately, we've talked about at a high level of how things can look and what the system's made up of. But at the end of the day, you're really it's a training-based solution. So the type of content that we support, obviously online, SCORM, courseware, bringing that in, video and audio. We've got some unique capabilities there where you can bring in video. You can all go ahead and click a few buttons enable it to bookmark. You can disable it from fast forwarding. You can mark it as complete. We'll do the same with PowerPoints and PDFs, and we'll convert those and add bookmarking and track completion on those as well. Strong support for, obviously the post-COVID world around the virtual space and webinar. Pretty much support any sort of webinar-based tool, as well as we've got deep integrations with GoToWebinar, with WebEx, and with Zoom. So that way you can go ahead and set up all your sessions within LearningCart, do the notifications, so on and so forth, and they automatically get set up in that third-party webinar tool. We've got an integrated quizzing/test engine that's got a fair amount of features around randomization and pooling and minimum time spent, things along those lines. And then what we see is pretty big, mostly in a lot in the kind of educational based area. But if you're building out a curriculum and you have an individual go through and take an online course and then do a quiz and then maybe attend some sort of a webinar where they want the student to go out and perform some activity, the student can then go out, upload those files and resources, and instructor or administrator can mark them as complete or not. And then obviously the course can get completed. So in our world, we call these as different content items. So you upload the content items how you want, build out your curriculum, which becomes a course, and then you'd associate that course with the product, and the product is what you sell or make available to customers. And so with that kind of hierarchy logic, it gives you an infinite number of ways of selling content. They can belong to one or multiple courses. One or multiple courses can belong to products, so on and so forth, and kind of that reusable learning model there. One of the last pieces that we're very happy about, and we just recently released, is a new what we call as a content/template builder. And Christian will show you that in a moment. And it's really kind of a drag and drop interface for creating new content on the fly for training content or making your product landing pages. You can build out those pages, and ultimately you can build out your whole site template using this content/template builder. We've talked about the site being branded. Obviously, a lot of our customers are selling content, so it's got to look good. It's got to be HTML responsive. All of the sites within our platform are. It's got to be easy to market. You got to have tools built into the platform for search engine optimization, paid advertising, so injecting Google Analytics, any sort of other widgets, chat functions, things like that. We really are very, very flexible to allow customers not only to have integrations with third parties, but literally just to bring in chat widgets or different sort of widgets onto their template page and be able to do a lot of the tracking that you find on a lot of commercial sites today. On the pricing options, this is really for the pricing for the customers. So as I mentioned this earlier, you can sell the individual product level, you can sell subscriptions, discounts across the board based on group association or volume pricing. It's really kind of infinite how you actually want to sell a product, what your pricing is, and access duration. So you can have a single course that you sell and say, I want to sell it for $50 for 12 months, for 3 months for $40, and for 1 month for $35. It's very easy. You have a single product, add a couple of pricing options, and you're good to go. And then ultimately, we're very secure and scalable, as we mentioned earlier. And at the end of the day, we are the LearningCart of the folks that built the platform. We are the ones that will onboard our customers, and we are the ones that will support you. So we have a dedicated team for the technical solution on the marketing side, on the design, as well as any sort of design options that you have. So you're going to have a very similar, same team throughout the entire journey with our organization. And one of the other largest benefits I think that we have, and I'll let Christian speak about it, is the actual architecture of the platform and our flexibility.
Yeah, so like Troy mentioned, we have people who come and they just sort of sign up for an account. They use the solution out of the box. But when we started building LearningCart way back when, we were working with organizations who there was no solution at the time, right? So we were kind of custom building solutions for educational organizations to help them market, sell, and deploy their training products. And so our background was in that world, right? Working with larger customers. And so when we built LearningCart, what we wanted to do was create software as a service that we knew was also flexible enough to support, those enterprise organizations who they have a specific CRM you need to support. They have a specific tax engine you have to use. They have specific branding guidelines. All of those sorts of things we wanted to be able to support without having to do, custom that was going to lock them into something that we couldn't upgrade in the future. So LearningCart is designed to be very modular. And so at key places in the system, we can kind of pop out our default logic and pop in custom logic. And then when we release upgrades in the future, the system basically will use the new logic, right, for all the areas that aren't custom, and anything that has been kind of customized will continue to use whatever that customization is. So it gives us a lot of flexibility working with larger clients to accommodate whatever their kind of back-end systems are, or if they really specific, some of our customers have very specific business rules that the system needs to accommodate. And so it allows us to do all of that while maintaining a really clear upgrade path. As we add new features like the content builder that we just rolled out, even our customers who kind of customize the system, they can still take advantage of that. But let's say, one of the universities we worked for example, has a custom payment gateway because, their accounting department was not going to switch just to a very specific one, because that's what we support. So they'll continue to use that custom payment gateway that we implemented for them and take advantage of all the other features. So, big picture, it kind of gives our clients the best of both worlds, right? They get the flexibility of accommodating their specific business needs where it makes sense. And then on all the other areas, they get to piggyback onto the development that we're already doing. They get to piggyback onto the future features that we release. And so it kind of, gives them the flexibility to pivot, as their business grows, however they need to, right? And they're never sort of locked into just a box of these are the features that are available, take it or leave it.
Right. Interesting.
All right. So at this point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump over and actually start to show some various sites here to give the audience an idea of not just screenshots here of actually platforms. So here you'll actually see this is one of the organizations that we mentioned earlier. This is the National Safety Council. It's the largest safety training organization in the United States, if not the world. So we started working with them, a couple years ago. And so they have a very large marketing site. They do a lot of paid advertising as well as a lot of direct marketing and email marketing. And so they'll drive their customer down to different areas. And you'll see here that this site is much more kind of textual, and it's driving individuals to different areas, to different pages. They can get to unique product catalog with sticky filters. Any sort of infinite number of categories and subcategories can very easily be added to the system. I'll jump over to a different organization. This is a higher ed university, Tiffin University, and they do workforce readiness. And you'll see here it's much more of a modern type of look and feel, kind of a lot of white space, a lot of different diversity, inclusion type of training. And so you'll see here the sites look very, very different. This is all on LearningCart. These are all designed on the content management system on the front end, but are leveraging the whole platform and everything on the actual back end as well. This is actually a smaller individual. They did the design, everything themselves. They spun up the site. This was one that we just took a look at and said, wow, they've done a very good job here as well. And so these were individuals that came about because of COVID and actually created how do you teach online to a lot of the teachers. And so you'll see the look and feel here. We thought they did such a great job with the site and the look and feel, and the kind of adding the cart stays with you persistent throughout the site. So very kind of unique. And without going through our hundreds and hundreds of site, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump into this site a little bit here and show you a little more functionality rather than just how it actually looks and feels. So EnerDynamics is an organization that does a lot of oil and gas consulting work. Many years ago, they were doing all face-to-face training. They started to convert their learning content into online. And today they've got an online learning library. They do live seminars. They sell books. And then they've got what's called an e-learning portal. And their e-learning portal is basically you get subscription based on certain content areas to different areas that you like. So you'd see here, so if I come in and I want to buy a subscription, I can get access to a year or 2 years. It's the same product that's made up of all these different courses, and I'm selling these as a subscription, and I've got a couple of different pricing options here. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that a lot of customers like with us, and we work with our customers, is how do I monetize my training without having to create content over and over and over, new content again, right? That's kind of the holy grail here, is how do I have content and sell it multiple ways? And so these folks do a great job of it. So if I go in and I find just online learning here, I can go in and I can take a look at their online library. And let's see, I go into natural gas. So here I can take a look at their, actually, let me jump here. I thought they had, yeah, so they've got a couple different views. They've got a tile card view, categories here, all their courses listed here in kind of a tile card view. Very easy to see the high-level descriptions. I can drill in, get more information, kind of instructional objectives. I can drill down further. You'll see here, this is one of those courses I can look at. I can view a course demo. So once again, all this is with LearningCart. So this is the content management system, the look and feel, the template. And then basically, as they're building out this product landing page, they're putting in the details here. They're adding if they want to have a course demo or not. And then ultimately, what do I want to sell the price for? What categories it belong to? And I can have different pricing options. So whether I'm buying for myself or I'm going to buy 100 seats, for my organization, I can simply add it to a cart. I can walk through the cart. You'll see here, I've got a bunch of different courses here. Let me move something real quick. Sorry, this GoToMeeting thing's in my way a bit. All right. And I can go ahead to the next screen. It's going to obviously ask you to log in. So we support single sign-on in multiple ways. One of the things we try to do is with the conversion flows, we try to get the login at the very last step, if at all possible, obviously, as our customers know, to make it easy for the end customers to go ahead and purchase. You'll see here in this world, they have something unique. It's a unique business requirement. Over a certain dollar amount here, they require their customers only pay with a purchase order. What happens is they automatically get an email. John came in, he made a purchase. Here's all the details of the order. John sees this, he can go into the back end and say, yep, this is accurate. He checked his other system, whatever it may be, and flip the switch, approve the order. The customer gets the email with the access to everything they bought, so on and so forth. So these are kind of unique little things that we can do, and customers can turn these on or off. POs can be supported as a traditional type of payment as with credit cards, or they can be set at a certain threshold. A lot of these things we allow our customers to actually do. So if I go ahead and remove this, and let's just say I change this to 5, that'll probably reduce the business requirement, and I'll be able to use a credit card here, as you would see. So something that's kind of unique as well. Discount codes as well. We've got infinite number of ways that you can sell discount codes, single-use codes, percents off, dollars off a given course for a certain time frame, only for organization, so on and so forth. And ultimately, now that I'm logged in, the system knows who I am. It can then go ahead and flip the script and show me different pricing if I belong to a certain organization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip to a different site. Let's say I went through, I made this purchase, I'm buying a bunch of seats on behalf of someone else. So I'm going to jump over to our demo site here. I'm actually going to jump into the back end. So what the system will do is it will obviously give you a purchase confirmation. You'll get an email confirmation. Since we are not only the learning management system, but also the e-commerce system as well, you're going to have everything in one area. So now I'm logged in on the back end, and I have a button that shows order history. So any order that I've ever made would automatically be here available for me to see. I see all the details on the back end, the order ID, so on and so forth. So whether John at this organization placed the order on the back end administrative for me and granted me access, or I came in through the front end and did the e-commerce or paid with the purchase order, I'm always going to have access to my orders. And part of the reason that's very important is I just went through and I just bought a bunch of seats in a given course. I now have a button that shows registration codes. So I then see, what the order was, when the order date was, and actually what did I buy. I'll see how many codes I have available and how many I've actually used. So if I go down here to the bottom, this fall protection competent person one, I just did a purchase here today, 15 seats. I can see any pending invites that people haven't accepted yet and actually any completed, but I'll go through the details here. And you'll see, and this is where we get a lot, this is where we work with our customers quite a bit, is needing the flexibility of how they distribute those codes that they buy, right? So do they actually want to set up students in the system? They can simply do email first and last, system will automatically generate password, or they can generate one for their customer. Student automatically gets an email, unique URL, they click on the link, they log in, they have access to the course. If they've ever given access to a user before in a previous course, they can go ahead and select that user, hit submit, same thing, email goes to that user, unique URL, and then they automatically get access to that course. So that's one way of giving them access. Another way, this is probably one of the most common ones, is actually they'll just want to send an email. They don't want to create the accounts, they just want to send one to John, they want to send one to Christian, they just put in that, some additional information at the top. Each student gets a unique email and they log in. And then finally, we give the ability, and once again, this is for our customers who have a site, it's for their customers, because we're really trying to make this as self-service as possible. A lot of our customers are really trying to have a robust offering and do the least amount of administrative support, giving the keys to their customer to be able to do those things. And for the larger ones, they can go ahead and basically they'll want to do an import of users. And so we keep it very simple. Few fields, we already know who the user is, how many seats were purchased, so we're just asking for a couple fields from the student. Because we've learned over the years that the more information you capture, the harder it is to convert, and we try to really kind of limit that on behalf of our customers. I'm going to jump over a little bit now, so I'm still on the back end. I've made a purchase.
And worth noting too, real quick, just so that's the workflow if you're ordering multiple seats, right? If you just have a single user who wants to order access for themselves, we have a couple options there, but some of our customers will basically just implement a rule of like, hey, if you buy one seat, it automatically gets assigned you. You automatically get access to the training. You don't do registration codes. You just go straight into the training and start taking whatever it is that you purchased. So there's kind of two different workflows depending on if you're buying multiple seats or if you're just buying access for yourself. Because we want to tailor that experience. And again, like Troy is saying, we want to make it as easy as possible for the users to be able to administrate whatever type of order they want to place.
Yep. And there's a lot of flexibility here. If you want to say, is this for codes? Is this for myself? Is this for others? Are this for employees? One of the unique things that we do as well is all labels within the system is 100% configurable. So we give access to our customers. They can come in here and they can change shopping cart to whatever term they want, or they can go ahead and change, the register for instead of myself and other, me or my employees. We give them that flexibility to be able to do, and that's not a customization. That's just a simple changing of labels on their side. So a lot of flexibility for our customers if they want to. So going back to what Christian alluded to, so since if I'm just a student, basically this is all permission based. So if I start to do different things in the system, different buttons will show up. So I'm also an instructor, so I can look at the classes I'm teaching. But if I'm just a student, I come into my files and training, and we've got a couple of different ways that we actually display training to customers. So our traditional way of displaying that training would be the name of the course, and all the content items that have been uploaded. So this is actually a virtual session that's got a student guide associated with it. It's got a separate mandatory reading, which is going to track. It's got a video. We've also got a form builder. So customers use form builders to do any sort of customer or instructor feedback. So you don't have to use third-party survey tools. You can use the form builder within our system to go ahead and create forms, as well as the quiz engine as well on the back end. And then you would obviously be able to view your certificate of completion. We've got a certificate builder as well. Super simple. You download a Word template, edit it however you like, add in the required fields, upload it, and you can have a different certificate for every course if you like. And so this is kind of
it supports custom fonts and images and basically anything you can build in Word. You can then turn into a certificate that works in LearningCart.
Mm-hmm. And so what we just released actually probably within the last month after a lot of beta and customer testing is our new course player. And this goes hand in hand with the content/template builder. So what this will do is this actually takes you into kind of a single view with all your content items here. So this is actually kind of the player window. So this would be an e-learning course as you see here. Then so you see all your content items here. You can have a PDF/ebook that would play here. You can disable printing, disable forwarding. You've got a quiz builder as well. You can go ahead and launch that within here. Then all your tracking takes place here as well in your certificate. And so what's nice is, so this is a feature that was released, and many customers may want it, many customers may not want it. So simply on that course, they can toggle the button on or off. Do they want to use the new course player, or do they want to have the traditional way of displaying that to the customer? So that way we basically don't force any of these updates on our customers if they don't want it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so what you see here is this is a content builder. So this is something that has been made available to the customer, and you'll see it's a lot of generic information here. But this is where they can come into our system now, and actually it's an authoring tool, so they can generate this content, have videos, have audio, have sliding images, have links, and so on and so forth. And it's very simple, for them to be able to do that. So Christian, I think I want to go ahead and share control with you. So John, do I just stop sharing and he'll have access, or?
Well, let me make him presenter. There you go, Christian.
All right.
Making progress, gentlemen.
Can you see my screen?
Looking good. No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't see it yet.
All right, how about now?
There we go.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. So, yeah, as Troy mentioned, with the new content builder we released, you can create pieces of content using that. So if I come in here, I've got one that's already set up. I can just click edit next to that piece of content. And once I come into that piece of content, I can give it a title, I can give it a description, that'll show in the player. And then I can click this button to launch my content builder. And so when I do that, it's going to initiate the content builder interface. And over on the left, there are a number of kind of predefined sections that you can use to build out your pages. So, we have sliders that you can add. We have video blocks, custom blocks. There's different types of headers. So it's very visual with predefined elements that you can add to your page. And so I can select any of these, double click on it. It's going to add it into my page. Then I can come in here and start kind of customizing it. You have the ability to swap out images, so it will come with some predefined ones, but you can add different ones in there. There's also tools to add things like audio. So if you have audio clips that go with your content, you can add those as well. So it makes it really easy to take something that maybe you have just in a Word document and actually build sort of some interactive training around that. And then this same piece, like we alluded to earlier, is also used to build out your website. So if you want to build a custom template in LearningCart, you do have a number of options with HTML or the template that comes out of the box. But you can also build out your full template using our content builder. So if I come in here again, once I come into a template that uses the content builder, I see the content builder button. And once I launch that, I have some different options now. So I can set up the different colors for my site. If I want to change out my footer, I can come over here. Let's see, we've got different footer blocks. So I can come look at different footers, add those in, maybe get rid of the previous one. For the template, you also have the ability to change the typography. So if you decide, hey, maybe I want to use a little bit of a different font family for my content, it supports all of that sort of stuff. So it makes it real easy. And again, if you want to get fancy, we never want to stop our customers who are super technical. So I can click in here, get into the actual HTML as well. So if I want to paste in a JavaScript snippet or something from another platform, it's definitely flexible enough to support all of that.
Awesome.
Perfect. If you want to pass me back control, I'll spend a few minutes, John, to kind of wrap things up.
Try. Here we go.
Alrighty. So you'll see here, and you saw a little bit before with Christian. So this is the back in the administrative area. So you'll see when you log in, you see, any sales that I've had in the last 30 days, any orders that have come through. I've got the ability to see what are my customers doing when they get in the system. We give access to our customers very easily to kind of self-help, training videos, so on and so forth. They can get a hold of us at our ticketing system, very responsive, which is nice. But things are broken down on the left-hand side very easily. So on the store, it's really the kind of three things. So the website, the look and feel, as Christian showed a little bit earlier. I won't drill into this really at all. What am I selling? So my actual products here, log back in real quick. So my products that I want to sell on the system, I've got my various products in here, and that's where I can put in different prices, or I can make it only available to customer A or customer B. And then ultimately you've got your training, which a lot of the training folks will be familiar with. I've got my courses. And then if I look at the courses themselves, they are comprised of an actual content item. So if I do a preview, you remember seeing this earlier, but I can go ahead and drill in and actually get into details as well. So I can see here earlier. So one of the things we mentioned earlier is we released that course beta player. That course player, I can either toggle it on or off. Do I want to have the progress bar on or not? Do I require the students to do prerequisites? What certificate do I want to have for this course? So it's very flexible and very simple. We've got a lot of advanced features too that we really try to hide for the customer, for as many folks don't. and then ultimately what content belongs with the system. And so with anything, we always try to allow you the ability to kind of preview and see how this is going to look and feel, because many times as administrator, it's tough unless you can kind of see how things look. But if I want to move this up here or not, so it's very simple, a lot of drag and drop interface. And then so that's kind of the look and feel, the storefront, the courses, and then we've got the ability, you can create your forms. We've got the reporting engine here as well. So we've got a lot of different reports, everything obviously exportable. We'll also do integrations with a lot of different systems, push a lot of things into Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics. We've got replicators on our side that'll push orders in and completion data. And then ultimately what's really unique as well too is the ability to, the notifications. So every system has notifications, but we give you a lot of flexibility around a notification on around how many days do you want to send this. It's up to you. Do you want to send it to just certain customers? Do you want to send it only for certain products you're selling for all of them? Or let's say I want to go ahead and send it out to every single one except for this one given customer. I can't send them notifications. So there's a lot of different logic built in this notification engine that's very, very flexible for our customers. That really helps them since they are developing solutions for their customer, and customer A's requirements going to be slightly different than customer B. So things we've learned over the past 10 plus years of enabling our customers to sell to their businesses.
Yeah, the email notifications was one of those pieces that came out of, we kept on working with customers. They were having to bring in MailChimp or Constant Contact or something to do email notifications. And we thought, well, hey, we have all the data in LearningCart, right? We already know everything about the users. What if we just do that in our platform? And, it's one less thing that they have to worry about integrating. So we do integrate with MailChimp and Constant Contact and all kinds of other different email marketing campaign softwares, but we also have the ability just to drive those notifications natively through our platform, because that's just easier sometimes.
Definitely.
So at this point, we're going to go ahead and take a pause, John, and let it be to you if you have any questions or anything we might have skipped off on that you have questions on, and if not, just thank you for the time and appreciate it.
Well, thanks for giving me such a thorough demonstration, or giving us, as it turns out, and you guys have really made a lot of progress. This is really, really nice. You guys are going in a great direction. I love the concept as a seller of content, of bringing together the content management system, making your website, making your pages, having the LMS itself and the storefront capabilities. In your case, significant B2C and B2B capabilities of selling to individuals, or selling to a group of learners. The workflow around a group of learners, notifying them, setting them up in the system, uploading a spreadsheet, make it a nice and simple, focus on the conversion rates of your customers and helping them convert by trying to keep things streamlined is really nice. Love just the building of the templates themselves and the flexibility. Small thing, not really a small thing, but reverse engineering the templates that already have graphics, and that they could just plug in right now. One person selling content is never going to see another person selling content, so just being able to leverage that and not have to go into Canva and find your own photos and try to do stuff. It's still easier than it used to be, but this is like it takes another whole layer of ease on there. The content builders in general, just the different widget types and the interface to just put that together is streamlined and nice. Really like it. And without a doubt, we focus on extended enterprise here, but narrowing that down to extended enterprise of we're the system that's going to help you sell content. Mm-hmm. So extended enterprise is kind of broader than that, and it can be a lot broader than that. And you guys have taken a broad field and picked a real good punch and decided to get real deep into it. And it's obvious, and it all looks good too. The diversity of your customers and how they're using the system, as well as providing them that flexibility of just doing things out of the box, down and dirty, all the way to using their own marketing agencies to do that is another unique differentiator that I don't hear framed out all that often or ever. The integrations are nice too with GoToWebinar. How about I'll find a hole probably, so I probably shouldn't. How about a HubSpot? Do you see that as a CRM that people are requesting? You doing that through Zapier? Do you have something?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that through Zapier. So that's kind of the current approach that a lot of our customers take.
I'm seeing that as kind of a increasing requirement.
Yeah. I mean, Zapier is great, right? Because I mean, there's so many platforms out there, and it's very challenging to integrate with all of them. And by doing Zapier, I mean, it's I think now over 1,000 different apps that you can integrate with. So we can dump orders into Zapier or form submissions, new account creations in our platform. All that can just kind of come flow over automatically.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And the other thing that you're doing that's nice is the innovation into other systems of the ecosystem. So being able to, to not use SurveyMonkey or a survey tool and bring that in, that's probably, that's probably a more common one. But they see vendors do, but the CRM capabilities of the email marketing, of using that part of it and being able to create your own emails and create them in a marketing and brand them for the different groups, that's all stuff that you don't need when you have an employee LMS and you never even know that it exists in the world, if you're in charge of an employee LMS. But it's something that's just super critical in our business and selling content and really everybody's business. So to be able to just keep on taking pieces that are in the ecosystem, and if you have it, great, we'll integrate into it. But if not, we've got the pieces here. It's a really good strategy. So all in all, I'm impressed. Thanks for taking the time. I like it. Keep up the good work. This is you're really leading things in the right direction, I think.
I appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Well, attendees or listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode here of the Executive Briefing Series. Now you see why it's our favorite piece of content or content series, because you just get smart and see what all the best organizations in the world are doing on learning technology. And today was no different. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one. You can find more of our independent content at talentedlearning.com. Have a great day.